Shalom, giving our praises to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh, by Yashim, Yahweh Shah, by Yashim, Makah HaKadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders that were well in peace and many salutations here on this tooling in this truth of ours. Peace and salutations to you brothers out there that's learning, that's new to this faith, and also shalom to the Akwath out there that's listening and being edified. I was listening to the Apostle Aram Lab sit down on basically agents within, various organizations of the Israelite awakening. And he made a statement that Jake has always been against Jake. And I thought that was a very interesting concept, especially one for a sit down, because I'm actually reading in the book of Maccabees, and I found it very interesting that people don't realize the extent of not only the rebellion against the Heavenly Father by becoming Hellenistic by the apostate Jews, but they don't realize the extent in which these various renegades came against the rebellion, the Maccabean revolt. They went to great lengths to ensure that the Greeks won various wars and battles. And just to parallel what we see going on now in contemporary times, it's nothing new. That same spirit of rebelling against their own for the heathen is still prominent in a lot of people who are spies, who are agents and things of that nature. And a lot of these guys are setting up to come down with great wrath against us, to accuse us in any capacity. I've personally been having dreams about people who were once in the camp that's popping up. One in particular is, coming to my house and things of that nature. Things in this is nothing that's far-fetched. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out against IUIC and their agent-like activities. Well, brothers here in the Dallas camp has personal testaments to that. You had several people calling people's, work office, harassing of their loved ones via social media, their wife via, text messages and calls and things of that nature. And they're doing all these things because they have essentially pledged allegiance to Esau Edom, and they're willing to do whatever it takes in order for them to solidify that position that they think they have, that they have in Esau's, empire. And again, this is nothing that's new, and people like to compare, a rabbi to, Rahab to, I said rabbi, Rahab to, would like to say that she integrated into the Israelite community, where she essentially was a traitor. But see, we had different lenses. We have the lenses of, okay, she helped us, so we're gonna give her certain gifts, or grant her the contract that, or the covenant that we have entered with her. Okay, so in the eyes of a Canaanite, she would be perceived as, Rahab would be perceived as a traitor. Okay, So understand that, what I'm saying, just because she decided to get on the winning team doesn't mean that, she was an Israelite and things like that. No, she just did that for her own agenda. Just like these guys, they perceive that, we're on a losing team, so they want to get on the winning team. And so they are willing to become traitors to their own people. That doesn't make them Edomites. They're not Edomites, or even, um, Gentiles, what I'm saying? Well, they are Gentiles in the state of mind, but their lineage goes back to Israel. There's nothing they could do to stop that, what I'm saying, regardless of them renouncing their religious beliefs or their culture. They're still Israelites. Same thing with Rahab. She's still a Canaanite. Both parties have one thing in common. They committed apostasy. They renounced their religion for another. Okay, and this has always been detrimental. The renouncing of our people renouncing their uh, religion or their culture for another has always been detrimental to our people. It's always led to us being in captivity and also inside fighting. Okay, now I wanted to read this for you guys in First Maccabees, the 7th chapter. This might be a little lengthy, it might not. It's going to go with the spirit, but nevertheless, this is First Maccabees 7:1. Now, this is in the NRS version. I believe it's new revised standard version. Okay, so it says in the first year, in the 151st year, Demetrius, son of Seleucus, set out from Rome, sailed with a few men to a town by the sea, and there began to reign. And I want to look up Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, for you guys, just to give you a drop back of what's going on in this particular chapter. Okay. Now, this is a Demetrius Soter. That's is according to the encyclopedia. It says Demetrius Soter. It says ruler of the Seleucid dynasty in Syria, son of Seleucus the fourth. In his youth, Demetrius was a hostage in Rome. When he became aware of the weakness of Antiochus the fifth and the governor uh, Elysus, he escaped with the aim of wresting the Syrian crown from his cousin. Demetrius established his rule despite the opposition of the Roman Senate, which did not wish to see an electric ruler on the Seleucid throne. The consequence of the victory of his general Bacchides over Judas Maccabees in 106 BCE, Demetrius reinstated the Syrian overlordship of Judah. He was also successful in crushing an insurrection in the eastern province led by Tiamarchus, governor of Babylonia. Now, the point was in here. It was in the latter. Demetrius was a hostage in Rome, but he was the son of Seleucus the fourth. So when he escaped, Antiochus Epiphanes had died, and his son began to reign, Antiochus the fifth, and his governor Lysias. Now, when he began to reign, he was able to take over these two and reign in their stead. Now he made pacts with the wicked man of Judah in order to further afflict Israel, or to put Israel under subjection. Okay, and this just shows you that I'm bringing this out to show you that uh, rebels or renegades have always been a problem within the nation of Israel. All right. Now back to his first Maccabees 7:1. In the first 51st year, Demetrius, son of Seleucus, set out from Rome, sailed with a few men to a town by the sea, and there began to reign. As he was entering the royal palace of his ancestors, the army seized Antiochus and Lysias to bring them to him. When the act became known to him, he said, "Do not let me see their faces." So the armies killed them, and Demetrius took his seat on the throne of his kingdom. Then there came to him, check this out, all the renegades and godless men of Israel. And I like how the NRSV describes the wicked man of Israel as renegades. And just for edification, let's look at this word in it, renegade. That word renegade means a person who deserts or betrays an organization, country, or set of beliefs. And what did these wicked men of Israel uh, betray or turn to? I should say, what did they turn to? They turned to the Greek culture. They became Hellenists. And people underestimate the length of, or the damage or the severity of the Hellenization of many of Jews. Okay, that took place. Not only the extreme measures that they took, but the repercussions of taking these measures within generations. That's why there's such uh, misunderstandings when it comes to the New Testament writings, especially the writings of Paul. Okay, you have to understand that these rebels, these renegades, went to great lengths in order to show their alliance to uh, the Greeks, the Macedonians, the Agites. They went to great lengths. I'm going to show you guys something, okay? Now, this is First Maccabees 1, and let's see here. I start 11. In those days, certain renegades came out from Israel and misled many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the Gentiles around us. For since we separated from them, many disasters have come upon us." This proposal pleased them, and some of the people eagerly went to the king, who authorized them to observe the ordinances of the Gentiles. So they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem according to Greek custom, which in a gymnasium you would get absolutely nude. But check this out. Within them getting absolutely nude, right, they were being laughed at because they were circumcised. I'm going to show this to you guys, and so within them being mocked for being circumcised, what did they do? Well, they uh, committed a term called epism. I'm gonna look it up for you guys because it's a tough word to say. This is why when you read it in the NRSV, it says this, verse 15, and remove the marks of circumcision. So they removed the mark of circumcision by what I just told you. Now, let me look it up for you guys, okay? Now, this is the term I was talking about. It's called epispism. This is according to Robert G. Hall. It says, any uncircumcised male who is not circumcised of the flesh of his foreskin shall be cut off from his people, and he has broken my covenant. So said God to Abraham, establishing the covenant of circumcision, a covenant between me and you and your descendants after you. Genesis 17, verse 10 through 14. It says, for many centuries, Jewish boys have regarded being circumcised when they are 8 years old. Excuse me. For centuries, Jewish boys have regularly been circumcised when they are 8 years old. Genesis 17 and 12. An unusual challenge to circumcision developed, however, in the Hellenistic period. Hellenistic and Roman societies would widely practice nakedness, but they abhorred bearing the tip of the penis, called the glans. To expose the glans were considered vulgarly humorous, indecent, or both. Now, you look the customs of the heathens are bizarre. They will regularly it will be something that's in a norm for males to walk around the gymnasium naked. This is something that you see, when you go to a gym and you see guys walking around naked or changing naked, talking naked. This is a this is a custom that came from Greek and Roman societies, which this is another indicator of where we are living. So our people were so adamant about becoming Hellenists that they uh, had procedures done on them called epispism to restore the uncircumcised look. Okay, so they could blend in with the Greeks. Okay, this is how vehement our people were when it came about joining the Greek society, man. This is not see, and I'm bringing this out to show you this is nothing small. Okay, it's not like, oh yeah, they just yeah, they just fell off. No, this is generations of people who had this ideology, who knew there was Israelites who were teaching their kids and growing their kids, or raising their kids, as I say, in a Greek culture. Okay, uh, to expose the glands was considered vulgarly humorous and decent on both. This combination of attitudes could be and often was devastating for circumcised Jews. Enjoying oneself in a Greek gymnasium or Roman bath where nudity was de regular was a popular and stylistic pastime. Here, politics was discussed in business deals concluded. Athletic contests and expeditions were also conducted in the nude. So they were doing everything naked, wrestling, everything. You know what I'm saying? Weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Participation in athletics was often a prerequisite for social advancement. So in order for you to forge yourself in society, you would play sports, much like here. You know, playing football and things of that nature. You use those various relationships that you have made, in the past in high school or in college to forge yourself in the business sphere. Okay? This is what our people were doing. So it was all about the money. Our people was selling out. This is what we're seeing. And it was a great lengths in order to sell out. Okay? Yet a circumcised penis effectively precluded this participation. So you came in there and you were showing your glands, you were considered as, one that was uncultivated or that was, you know, uh, didn't have any manners, even though you were naked. It's weird. It's very, very bizarre. Okay. So consequently, for hundreds of years, some Jews underwent a surgical procedure known as epispism, an operation that corrected a circumcised penis. Some might call it circumcision in reverse. From references and allusions to the procedure in classical and rabbinical literature, it appeared that episcopalism reached its peak of popularity in the first century CE. The New Testament revealed bitter consequence over circumcision among the followers of Jews. Conflicts expressed also in attitude towards episcopalism practiced by Jews. Paul, who thinks circumcision is useless, nevertheless forbid episcopalism. Was any one at the time of his call already circumcised? Let him not seek to remove the mark of circumcision. Very interesting. Wow. You see that? So this is something that's very interesting, man. Very, very, very intriguing. But this shows you that what our people were engaged in, that our people were willing to go to great lengths in order for them to, again, to be amalgamated in a Greek culture or become Hellenistic. This is one extreme example. Another extreme example, which we're going into, which is the main topic, is they were willing to uh, war against their own people by becoming spies and renegades and giving up their own people to the Greeks. Now let's go back to it. Now we just read, we was in verse 5. I'll read verse 4 to get the understanding where we were at. So this is First Maccabees 7. For so the army killed them. Who did he kill? They killed Antiochus and Lysias. Antiochus the fifth, the son of Antiochus Epiphanes, or Antiochus the fourth, and his governor Lysias. Demetrius had them killed. His cousin had him killed, and he began to reign in his stead. Okay, back to First Maccabees 7:4. So the army killed them, and Demetrius took his seat on the throne of his kingdom. Then there came to him all the renegades and godless men of Israel that were led by Alcimus, who wants to be high priest. And I believe his name is Alaquam, means God rise. He wanted to be the high priest, okay? And so he was willing to do what? To sell out his own people. This is the same sentiment that we see going on now. People are willing to sell out our people are willing to sell out their own people, the Israelites, to forward themselves in the world, okay? Verse 6, they brought to the king this accusation against the people. Judas and his brother have destroyed all your friends and have driven us out of our land. Now then send a man whom you trust. Let him go and see all the ruin that Judas has brought on us and on the land of the king, and let him punish them and all who helped them. So the king chose Bacchides, one of the king's friends, governor of the province beyond the river. He was a great man in the kingdom and was faithful to the king. He sent him, and with him he sent the ungodly Alcimus, whom he made high priest, and he commanded him to take vengeance on the Israelites. So they marched away and came with a large force into the hand of Judah, and he sent messengers to Judas and his brother with peaceful but treacherous words. But they paid no attention to their words, for they saw that they had come with a large force. Then a group of scribes appeared in a body before Alcimus and Bacchides to ask for their terms. The Hasidians were first among the Israelites to seek peace from them. For they said, a priest of the line of Aaron has come with the army, and he will not harm us. Al-Simus spoke peaceful words to them, and swore this oath to them: we will not seek to injure you or your friends. You see that? So this guy, Al-Simus, was speaking peacefully and things of that nature, when really he set out to overthrow the rebellion, man. This is an Israelite going against a fellow Israelite. Okay? So they trusted him, but he seized 60 of them and killed them in one day, in accordance with the word that is written: the flesh of your faithful ones and their blood they pour out all around Jerusalem, and there was no one to bury them. So this guy speak peaceful words unto his own people, and killed 60 of them in one day. You see that? This is the type of niggas that we are dealing with, Akyam. Don't not get it twisted. These niggas are playing for keeps. They don't have any sympathy for you, right? They could care less. They are full and set on uh coming against, you know, the nation of Israel, those that are speaking the truth. Not just the nation of Israel, but those that are speaking this truth. Okay? So these guys, these rebels, they are a problem. All right? They are not to be trusted. And we're going to see a lot of this agent activity become more and more flagrant, more apparent to see as the latter days come before us, because Esau Edom has to make a move in order to set his enterprise. So there's going to be a lot of false flags. There's going to be a lot of people that you thought was cool going to be running to Esau Edom with vocab alone, doing interviews. There's going to be a lot of people that's bugging out, doing all types of stupid shit, you know what I'm saying, to defame the ministry, you know. But in all these things, the Most High is going to defend us. You know, I strongly believe that, you know, this time period is different. You know, judgment is going to come out on a lot of these people. Okay? Just like what Yahushua told the Pharisees. You know what I'm saying? He told the Pharisees they're going to be judged for their unfaithfulness. Now, what's very interesting about the Pharisees and the whole concept of Pharisees, what the name for Pharisees has a negative connotation. When you look up the Pharisees, the meaning of it means hidden ones. And the reason why they call themselves the hidden ones is because they were adamant about keeping the laws, a bit zealous to where they added oral laws and began to go off, but they was zealous about keeping the law after keeping the laws intact after the Hasmonean or the Maccabean revolt, which set up the Maccabean or the Hasmonean dynasty. You had a lot of people who were actually family members or descendants of the Maccabeans that were vehement Hellenists. Now, this is where the Sadducee sect comes uh, uh, into birth, or comes into fruition. Okay, so you had the Pharisees that was considered themselves the hidden ones that were against the uh, acceptance of Greek standards, Greek culture. But within them doing so, they misinterpreted a lot of laws for their wicked agenda. And also they weren't governing by the spirit of the law. You know what I'm saying? The law was never to be literal, you know what I'm saying, set in concrete. It was a certain way in which we were supposed to interact with one another as Israelites, the earth, and the other nations. You know, but then, you know, our people took it too literally, and also they began to bend the rules for their wicked agendas. And so when Yahushua came on the scene, who the word called Jesus, he was rebuking that spirit, you know, that spirit of using the laws to their advantage and using extra laws to be over righteous. This caused them to do what? To get Yahushua killed. Okay? Let's get another example of renegades in the New Testament. Now this is John 7:1. After these things, Yahushua walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry, because the Jews sought to kill him. Who were that? The Pharisees. Now the Jews' Feast of Tabernacle was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, Depart hence and go into Galilee, that thy disciples also may see the works that thou doest. Verse 4. For there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world. For neither did his brethren believe in him. Then Yahushua said unto them, My time is not yet come, but your time is always ready. The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. So what world is he talking about? He's talking about the world, everybody. He's talking about the world of Israel. This is who he's talking about. Okay? They had a disdain for Yahushua, because he came after the Father, Yahweh, his way, and interpreted, was giving the people a true understanding of the law, statutes, commandments, and prophecy. Okay? And the importance of repentance via him. That was a problem for the Pharisees, because you have to understand the Pharisees had um, pacts and things of that nature with the Roman Empire to basically rule over the nation of Israel and have jurisdiction over the nation of Israel. With jurisdiction, they made themselves, substantially rich. Okay, so the enterprise was being questioned or being attacked by the teachings of Yahweh Shah. This is the same thing that we see going on now. This whole MOTB situation, Revelation 13 and 16 situation, is not a light thing, like y'all. There's a reason why these various camps have to keep addressing it, and their breakdown is ever flowing or ever changing. Why is that? Because they're trying to subdue the masses of their churches, to accept certain things. Okay. Why? Well, they have a hidden agenda. You have to ask them. But real soon, these various teachings are going to clash. And we're seeing it going on, in the spirit. It's going to manifest into the spirit, the physical. And these people don't mind doing off the wall things, wicked things. We already seen that being exposed with the whole situation with IUIC and ISUBK. Okay, there's a certain group that has that's engaged in some very, very suspect activity. Some secret agent man activity, if you catch my drift. Okay, all right. But back to it though. Verse 8: Go ye up unto the feast. I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come. When he had said these words unto them, he abode still in Galilee. But when his brethren were gone up, then went he also up unto the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret. Then the Jews sought him at the feast and said, Where is he? And there was much murmuring among the people concerning him. For some said, He's a good man. Others said, Nay, but he deceived the people. Howbeit no man spake openly of him for fear of the Jews, fear of the Gentiles. The Pharisees. This is who they're alluding to. Now about the midst of the feast, Yahushua went up into the temple and taught. The Jews marveled, saying, How knoweth this man letters, having never learned? Yahushua answered them and said, My doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory, but he that speaketh his glory, that seeketh his glory, that sent me, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. And this is what we are seeing. People agenda is starting to be exposed. More and more we're starting to see man worship or organization worship. You know, people are fixated on the community that they have, alluding to IUIC. Excuse me. People are alluded to are you know in awe with the community that they have of being able to come together, and sisters and brothers, things of that nature, which is, it's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. But, you know, beauty can be vain also. All that is vain when it's not predicated on the teachings of Yahweh Shai. Also, we're starting to see people, certain organizations, man worship. More and more you're starting to hear in ISUBK that, instead of standing up for Yahweh Shai, they're starting to say, oh, well, you have to stand up for General Yohana. You have to not be a coward because that's General Yohana's chair, and you have to represent for General Yohana and be, carnal for General Yohana. Okay? So these agendas are being exposed by what? The truth. The true doctrine. This is causing enmity between these camps, between us and these various camps. And also people who teach the same thing we teach in these other camps. And it's going to be what's going to be. Okay? Meaning what? What do I mean by that? We're going to get on one side, they get on the other side, and we're going to all get together and have melee. Nah. What I mean by that is these people are going to resort to carnality. Right? Persecution is coming. Okay? Understand that, like y'all. For yourself. For yourself. Okay? Because at the end of the day, the only person that's going to keep you in this thing is ultimately how about Shemi Shai and that relationship that you have with him. Okay? We coming in those times of trial and times to where these guys are not going to keep playing with us, man. They're gonna make certain actions going to play to shake up the foundation. But guess what? Our foundation is strong because it's a foundation that was built on Yahweh Shai. Okay? So whether it be death or life, guess what? We're going to reign with Yahweh Shai. Okay? And it is what it is. Let's go back to it. Verse 19. Did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keepeth the law? Why go ye about to kill me? The people answered and said, Thou hast a devil. Who goeth about to kill thee? Yahshua answered and said unto them, I have done one work, and ye all marvel. Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers, and ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man. If a man on the Sabbath day receives circumcision, that the law of Moses should not be broken, are ye angry at me, because I have made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day? Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. And this is what Yahushua came to give understanding. He gave understanding. He came to give understanding of the interpretation of the scriptures. And a lot of people had that step of authority on the laws, the interpretation of laws, statutes, and commandments for their agenda. We see that going on now. Okay, when it comes to marriage and forbidden unto marriage, you know what I'm saying? What you could do and what you can't do in the household, who you can marry, who you can't marry. All this is going on when, at the same time, adultery is running rampant. So there's a lot of contradictions that's going on, and why these contradictions are happening because these people claim to be the authority of the interpretation of the law, statutes, and commandments, but it's for their hidden agenda. You know what I'm saying? Of appealing to a certain demographics of Jake in the world. Okay. So the Most High is going to break that up. Okay. So verse 25, then said some of them of Jerusalem, is not this he whom they seek to kill? But lo, he speak boldly, and they say nothing unto him. Do the rulers know indeed that this is the very Mashiach? So people were, and this is what people are starting to see. A lot of people are starting to ask questions to these mega these huge camps of who has truth. Or it's like, dang, y'all saying GMS doing all this and that, but their hands is cleaning all this stuff, and you guys are the ones that are fighting one another, getting caught on one another. You know what I'm saying? People coming up dead, missing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got plex on the block and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Y'all being calm as hell, but y'all calling GMS, so wicked. When you guys are the ones that are being wicked, man. Okay? So people are starting to make inquiry of the truth of the teachings of these various camps, and that's causing them to be enraged. These other camps, especially IUIC, to be enraged. Okay? Back to it. Verse 27, howbeit we know this man whence he is, but when Mashiach cometh, no man knoweth whence he is. Then cried Yahushua in the temple as he taught, saying, Ye both know me, and ye know whence I am. I am not come of myself, but he that sent me is true, whom ye know not. But I know him, for I am from him, and he has sent me. So Yahushua cursed him out like, look, man, I was sent from Yahweh by Shemi Yahushua. And you don't know the Father in his way, so you don't know me. You don't know who I could be. You don't know who I am. Same thing what we see now with us. People, look at us a certain type of way because we are of the same lineage. So they don't see us as the Most High's true followers. They look at our infirmities or, what I'm saying, or, what's the word I'm looking for? Shortcomings. Brother might have, bald head. Brother might, I'll be balding. Brother might have a missing tooth, a little chubby. You know what I'm saying? So they look at us, and we don't come in glitz and glam, and so people can conceive or perceive that we are of Yahweh by Shebihah Shai. Okay, but real soon they're gonna find out, and people are finding out because of that doctrine. All right. Okay. Back to it. Verse 30. Then they sought to take him, but no man laid hands on him because his hour was not yet come. And many of the people believed on him and said, when Mashiach cometh, will he do more miracles than these which this man has done? So Yahushua was getting busy, showing and proving. Same thing that we do. All the videos that brothers push out, man, that's an indicator of something, man. Okay? That is an indicator of who the Lord's dealing with and who isn't. Who he isn't. because the sheer work and dedication that we show here at GMS in other camps is affiliated with us. Verse 32. The Pharisees heard that the people murmured such things concerning him, and the Pharisees and the chiefs sent officers to take him. So boom, there you go. You had it to where the Pharisees heard these murmurings, and guess what? They wanted to get Yahushua reprimanded, locked up, so they could eventually get him killed, which eventually they did. Okay? And these other camps, you better believe that they view us as a threat. Okay? They view us as a problem. And that's why persecution has been happening unto us, and it's only going to ramp up, Akim. Okay? It's only going to ramp up. So I want just to illustrate this, that Jake has always been Jake's biggest enemy. And I pray this is edifying. Hey, we got the victory. Got to bring that out. At the end of the day, we got the victory, man. Okay? I'm going to give our praise to Yahweh by Shibi Habashah, by Shibi Karkadash. Double honor to the apostle and elders of well. Peace, many salutations, Yakian. That's 22. Shalom.